Welcome to Valentina's audio stories. Listen, relax, and enjoy. That summer evening, Emma was running a bit late with her grocery shopping. The good thing was, she had to buy just a few things. So she parked, hopped out of her car, entered the small store, and grabbed a hand basket. Emma stopped to pick the apples she needed, bag them, and as she turned around to head to the next item in her list, she knocked into a tall, strong man. She apologized. When she looked up to see his face, she was startled. The man's face reminded her of John Oliver, from high school. John Oliver had been her first crush, and possibly even her last. No one had ever again made her heart flutter with excitement the same way. Emma's heart was fluttering the same way now. Emma blurted out, almost in disbelief, "John Oliver, is that you?" John looked just as surprised. "That's me. You're Emma Thompson, right?" Emma nodded. John exclaimed, "Wow. Just wow. I don't even know what to say." The last time Emma had seen John had been the last day of school in 10th grade. While signing her yearbook, John had promised to buy her ice cream over the summer. Unfortunately, it was a date that never happened. John and his family moved away over the summer. And Emma remembered the disappointment when she found out her crush had simply up and left without saying a word to anyone. To this day, she had never known why. Emma, feeling absolutely stunned, said, "You've come back." John held up a grapefruit. To buy grapefruit, apparently. Emma laughed. "I hope that's not the only thing that brings you back." John said, "I'm actually house hunting. I was thinking of moving back here." Emma was having a hard time believing her ears. Of course, it was possible that John had intentions of coming to live in town with wife and kids in tow, but maybe there was also a possibility he was single. After all, she didn't know anything about him. Emma asked, "What makes you want to come back?" John explained, "The best years of my life were in this town. I have a consulting job now. I mostly work remotely so I can pick to live somewhere a little quieter. I'm pretty sick of the big city. I lived in Los Angeles most of my life after my parents moved us out there." Emma wondered what had made his parents move so suddenly. "You kind of vanished that summer. What happened? I was so sad starting the new school year and not finding you in school." "Sorry I didn't say anything. I didn't think anybody would care about me leaving. My aunt had a serious accident, and my mother decided to move us there to help her. The accident was such a shock for everyone that we just moved suddenly and I honestly got trampled by the aftermath." Emma was sorry to hear. "Oh my, that's very understandable. I'm really sorry to hear." After a small pause, Emma added, "But I am glad to see you again." John gave a small smile. "Same here." Emma thought it was now a good moment to ask the important question on whether he was already attached to someone or not. "Is your family okay with the idea of coming here?" John grinned. "My family is an iguana. He seems pretty cool with the idea though. Yes, thanks for asking." Emma burst into a laugh. She hadn't expected that answer of all things. "Iguana?" she asked. John nodded. "Yes, he's 3 years old. I guess he's going to start iguana preschool soon. What about you, got any kids?" Emma laughed, feeling very charmed. John had always been funny in addition to having beautiful sparkling hazel eyes. She said, "No, I haven't really met the right person to settle down with." John nodded, sympathetic. "I understand, it's hard to meet the right person." Startling them both was one of the grocery store's employees. Politely, the employee told them the store was closing in a matter of minutes. Emma and John picked out the last few things they needed and headed to the cash register where they paid for their respective groceries. Out on the sidewalk, John pointed to the ice cream shop across the street. "I think I had promised you an ice cream that summer I moved away," John said. Emma's heart beat fast, and she asked, "You actually remember that?" "Yes, I had looked forward to it too." John glanced at her, some shyness crossed his face. "How about we make it happen tonight?" Emma's heart soared, feeling like she had felt that day he had signed her yearbook with the promise of a date. Emma grinned. "Let's do it." They dropped off their groceries inside their car and crossed the street together. At the ice cream shop they both ordered a cone and chocolate ice cream. It was a good snack and it fit the summer weather. There was something carefree about the evening, and Emma almost felt like a kid again, with hopes for a high school love that would last the rest of her life. Maybe, she thought, she had never found the right one because John had always been the right one. As they ate their ice cream, they walked along the path of the small municipal park, where a playground was full of kids and an older woman was walking her poodle. John said, "We're older, but we're still the same, aren't we?" Emma nodded. "I think so." John continued, "A lot of people change as they get older, but I still feel the same feeling in your company." Emma couldn't have said it better. That giddy feeling was bubbling in her like a boiling pot of warmth and sweetness. Except this time, ahead of them they didn't have a big scary life of unknowns that could toss them far and wide. Life had settled, and though it was difficult, it had settled. Emma knew who she was now, and knew what was important to her. All those were details that had eluded her as a young teenager. Emma imagined it was the same for John. Emma was done with her ice cream cone and so was John, so they walked back to their respective cars. When she stood next to her car, John gave a big smile and told her she had chocolate on her nose. Laughing, she wiped the tip of her nose. He smiled and stepped a little closer. Easily and naturally, he put a kiss to her lips. Emma was delighted. It was a long time she had been waiting for this. "I felt it was overdue," John said. Emma was enthusiastic. "I agree." John said, "I might not have done any house hunting yet, but I'm already sure about moving back here." Emma beamed with happiness. "And I'll be happy to have you back in town." They shared contact information and John promised he would keep in touch with her about his move back to town. Emma was delighted. With that, they said goodbye. Emma started to drive back home. Deep in her heart, she knew she would finally get to be with her high school sweetheart after all, and a great sense of peace and satisfaction filled her heart. The end. We hope you enjoyed Emma and John's romance. Remember to subscribe to our channel.